What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Calgary Barbell. Today is question of the week. So if you have questions, ask them below. But we're going to answer today. We had a number of questions on our recent post about how to use singles in training for powerlifting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Singles are valuable because they give us a very clear indication of where you're performing that day as it relates to that movement in a very specific fashion. So number one, they give us a good indication of where we're at for the day, and then generally speaking, we will base our subsequent work off of the estimated max given to us by that single and the associated RPE. Hopefully that makes sense. The next big thing is they offer us a chance to practice the skill component of performing a heavy single, which is the most competition specific thing you can probably do in training other than maybe maxing out. So it allows us to practice the skill of executing a single lift. Now, third and lastly, it's going to give us maybe a bit of a decent training effect in terms of the adaptation, strength adaptation to that movement, but arguably less so unless we're doing a lot of singles. So the single provides us a number of different benefits. Now, to say whether or not you should or shouldn't use a single on a certain lift, I would use singles on competition lifts, and I would use singles on accessory lifts, those being lifts where you're training the movement. So something like a pin squat, a long pause bench, a pause deadlift against bands or chains, those kinds of things. Where I probably wouldn't use singles is on supplemental work and supplemental movements, where we're trying to train the muscles more so than the movement, and you see that distinction there. The big thing with those movements is it's not necessarily going to benefit you that much to train the skills component of doing a dumbbell bench press, for example. It's not going to benefit you that much to you don't need that clear of a picture of where your absolute max is or have a very close estimation of your max on a dumbbell bench press. You can approximate, get the work in, get a good pump, and that's probably good enough for those movements that are that far down the line in terms of specificity. So those would be the instances I would use singles. Now, singles are a tool that you use in your training. They are not inherently better or worse than any other strategy, so it's going to be very individual on whether or not that's something that works or something that you should or shouldn't include in your training. So what I recommend is program yourself a block, or talk to your coach about, or program for your athletes a block where you use singles, monitor their performance throughout that block, and then start to draw conclusions about whether or not that's a strategy you should be implementing. Hopefully that gives a pretty clear picture of using singles in training, when to use them, when to not use them, and some of the benefits of using singles in powerlifting training. And that's gonna be about it for today. Now, we wanna do one of these videos each and every week, so if you have questions regarding powerlifting programming, training, lift execution, anything like that, go ahead and ask them in the comments below, rather. If you're interested in more knowledge like this and learning more about powerlifting programming and training, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you liked it, share it with your friends if you think they should watch it, and we'll see you all in the next video.